All right, we call it the herd hierarchy. Our 10 best teams. I spend way more time on this than any man with a real life, marriage, and kids should. Here we go. Number 10 is the Buffalo Bills. Folks, they're 2-0 on the road. Now, it may be the Jets and the Giants, but it's winning on the road. And they've scored a touchdown in all 5 of their red zone road trips this year. Only Seattle said that. They upgraded wide receivers in the offseason. They needed to. Tried to upgrade their offensive line. And I think this is the best coaching staff in the NFL that nobody talks about. We know Kansas City's well coached. We know New England's well coached. We know the Rams are well coached. We know the Niners are well coached. Buffalo never puts Josh Allen in a position to fail. This is a very well-coached team, and I think toe-to-toe with I'll tell you this morning. If they played Cleveland this morning, Buffalo would win. Because I honestly think this has a chance to be a wild card team. I really do. I think they're a 9-7 team. There's some limitations offensively, but I like them. San Francisco, it was the one team I told you. I said, it's almost too easy. I'm stealing money. They're going to double their wins. Very creative. I still have some doubts on Jimmy Garoppolo. I do. I worry about his health. But again, they're 2-0 and 2-0 on the road. They didn't win a road game last year. That's called improvement. By the way, here's the other place they improved. They already have 4 interceptions this year. They had only 2 last year. So the 2 big issues with them last year, lousy on the road, 2-0 on the road, and could never take the ball away. They're taking the ball away. Now, they just had their left tackle out for a while, fibula issue. I don't even know where that's on your body. But Joe Staley's their left tackle. He's hurt. That does not help because I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo getting whacked. But I have the Niners, a very young offense, but fun to watch, number 9. Seahawks, Russell Wilson on in 20 minutes. Listen, the Seahawks have won 8 of their last 9 games. This is very much Pete Carroll. We're going to play defense. We're going to run the football. And then we're going to ask Russell Wilson about twice a game to do that like wand magician thing and pull out a victory. By the way, ever notice every wide receiver they attain, they all work with Russell Wilson? They're 2-0 for the first time since their Super Bowl year. So, I was a doubter on Seattle. I really was. Their defense was young. I didn't think they'd overcome Frank Clark to the Chiefs. So far, they've looked pretty good. Philadelphia, listen, just because teams lose, they have an injury bug at wide receiver. They're going to be fine. Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey get healthy. They're going to be fine. I just love the coach. I love the GM. I like their quarterback. I think they have a good offensive line. Here's where I know they're good. They are 3rd in the NFL in rush defense. They force you to throw the ball. They got a really good defensive line, and they're also 2nd on 3rd down percentage. What does that mean? They keep the ball away from you. 3rd down, they make them 1st downs. Philadelphia, well-coached, smartly quarterbacked, well-run. I like them. Baltimore, I got some questions, but there's one thing I love. When you have a running quarterback and he puts himself and he's vulnerable, sometimes you worry about turnovers. They don't have a turnover this year. So not only are they productive, I'm not seeing a ton of penalties, and I'm not seeing any turnovers. And here's the thing with Lamar Jackson. 9 starts is like Dak. He's won 8 of 9. Dak's won 9 of 10. This is about winning. Now, winning's not the only thing because sometimes you can mask deficiencies, Tim Tebow, with winning. But what I see is an ascending player, a very good coaching staff. They've added tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, Greg Roman, a coordinator. I'm not totally sure they're this good, but I like what I see. I got Baltimore at 6. Green Bay, I've said all offseason, the defense will carry this team until Thanksgiving. Then Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, then they'll get it worked. Listen, 5 takeaways is tied for the most in the NFL. This organization 2 years ago said we're going to have to pay Aaron a lot of money. And they started drafting corners, and they started going into the free agent pool, which they don't love to do in Green Bay. And they went and got like Preston Smith and really good players without paying them a fortune. That defense now is young. It's fast. They're coaching it to be aggressive. And they're 2-0. And it's been, listen, Chicago and Minnesota are top 5 defenses. Don't look at their offense and say it's choppy. Chicago makes everybody look choppy. Chicago's going to make everybody not named Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes look choppy. Don't hold that against them early. I'm worried a little bit about their offensive line depth, but I'll put the Rams at number 4. Listen, they're 8-1 at home in the regular season since the start of last year. That's why I picked them against the Saints. We don't think of the LA Coliseum as a home field advantage, right? It's just not that loud. It's not Lambeau. It's not Foxborough. It's not Philadelphia. They don't lose at home. They play really, really well. It's a fast track, and they're a fast team. Cooper Kupp, we all worried about Todd Gurley. Cooper Kupp, I believe, is Jared Goff's key. Cooper Kupp has been instrumental so far. He was huge in the Saints game. And by the way, only other team that has won as many games in the last 2 years is New England. So the Rams are a real team with a real structure. Dallas Cowboys. I still think they have Dak has only been sacked once. I still think when healthy, it's the best offensive line in the NFL. I think they've added really smart pieces. Listen, they have about 8 elite players. Not many teams in the league. I don't think New England has 8 elite players. I mean, they've got an elite running back, an elite receiver, elite left tackle, elite center, 2 elite linebackers, an elite corner, an elite edge rusher. Now, I wonder when you pay all those guys, they're going to have some holes. Yeah, but you just can't keep paying everybody. But when I look at Dallas, they've scored 9 offensive touchdowns over 2 games. You know how many times? It took them 6 games to get there last year. So that just tells you the Randall Cobbs, the Michael Gallups, the healthy offensive line, an ascending Dak. This is a real offense. This is a real offense. Kansas City. Do you know Patrick Mahomes has only started 19 games? Why does it feel like he's been around for a long time? Maybe because every game is so spectacular that they all get embedded in our minds. Listen, shocker, number 1 in passing offense. They have scored 25-plus points in 23 straight games. And what you have here right now is you have the best play designer in the NFL, Andy Reid, with the best quarterback talent in the league, Patrick Mahomes. So I got news for you. We don't have the AFC. I'm just going to give the programming director at CBS a heads up. You're going to want to put them on about 12 times a year. Because when you get the play designer and the all-time quarterback talent, that was like Holmgren and Favre. You just had to watch the Packers for a decade. That's what they're hoping LaFleur and Rodgers come. Play designer and great quarterback talent. What category is New England defensively not number 1? They're really good. It's the best secondary in the league. They never get beat over the top. They have active, hard-hitting, fast linebackers. They don't have one elite pass rusher, but they led the NFL last year in pressures. They make no mistakes. They don't get penalized. Brady is so detailed. I think they have the deepest running back group in the NFL. The wide receivers with Antonio Brown, it's a work in progress. But since they haven't been this explosive with Josh Gordon and Antonio Brown and Julian Edelman, you got to pick your poison on that. They're not even playing their rookie. They're not going to play him till Thanksgiving. So I think you're really trying to pick apart them. If you don't have New England 1 and Kansas City 2, you're trying to pick apart. I get Hall of Fame coaches and world-class quarterbacks. I put New England 1 because they have a better defense, and I do think post-Thanksgiving that's going to matter. All right, we got a lot of stuff today. Texans did not make it. I was way more impressed with Buffalo. I do believe it's the first time I've had Buffalo in my herd hierarchy.
I don't have a major problem with this. I'm a little skeptical about Buffalo still, but it might just be because it's Buffalo.
And Houston, Minnesota, and Atlanta, I was more impressed with Buffalo. I don't care who you beat. You go on the road. You're 5 for 5 in the red zone. I think that Buffalo staff's good.
Yeah, I mean, you could make that argument for Baltimore, and no one is. You beat who you play.
I think Baltimore's offense is more explosive than Buffalo. I think their defense is, I'd go Buffalo's defense, but there is something to Lamar. People are struggling to figure him out. Only team that's figured him out was the Chargers the second time they played him.
Right.
So that in division, it may take a couple of times. But if you just get him once, nobody's stopping him. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.